years of age, from Florida, and she takes on the defending champion Steffi Graf. The pressure would appear to be on the champion, especially because young Jennifer just seems to be having a lot of fun out here, but she did get her Italian up a little bit.
CBS Sports presents Beyond the Baseline, sponsored by Sharp. From Sharp Minds come Sharp products.
You probably already know this teenager. She's just 14, but already Jennifer Capriati's signature is quite a commodity. You may not know Mary Pierce. She's a year older and has a year's more professional experience than Jennifer, but no crowd clamors for her autograph. Capriati is this year's tennis darling, and while her practice sessions may be attended by hundreds of fans and camera crews, some say that if there were no Jennifer Capriati, the tennis world would be watching Mary Pierce. And no less an expert than Billie Jean King says that Mary has top 20 potential.
Checking in? What's the name? What's your name?
Capriati.
Capriati first attracted attention years ago with her little girl looks and big-time ground strokes. And this year, she checked herself all the way into center court Wimbledon to face the world's #1, Steffi Graf. Capriati may have lost this match, but many foresee the day when Steffi will give up her station at the top to Jennifer. Capriati's story has been front-page news ever since she turned pro in March. Even with all the attention, Jennifer seems to understand just who she is, both as a tennis player and as an entertainer.
Maybe I play tennis a little bit better than others, you know? It's just like all the other movie stars and all that. They act just a little bit better than others.
But women's tennis has seen other young stars before. Tracy Austin first won the U.S. Open in 1979 at the age of 16, and Andrea Jaeger, who made it to the semifinals here at 15. Both careers were curtailed by injury and overexposure. Call it burnout.
I think I'm doing the right stuff that can prevent injuries, and I still love the game. And if you still love the game, then you can't ever get burned out.
Something that certainly must help is Jennifer's endorsement package, reportedly worth more than $6 million. Just before this year's Open, she signed on to endorse a new line of cosmetics for teens, and she had a $4 million racket contract before she ever played a match as a pro. Mary Pierce has earned only $35,000, but her biggest problem may not be financial, but paternal. As coach and manager, every aspect of Mary's career is controlled by her father, Jim.
Mary is a very talented player whose father has caused her all kinds of problems with the United States Tennis Federation, and every coach who's ever worked with Mary, who is very likable, very quiet, very coachable young player. But her dad is just, this guy's evidently, I mean, the guy's just a maniac, and he makes it impossible for anybody to stay with Mary long enough.
Though he was never a tennis player himself, Jim Pierce has turned down the U.S. Tennis Association's offers to help Mary with professional coaching. Family life for the Pierces is devoted totally to Mary's tennis. Jim, his French-born wife Yannick, Mary, and her younger brother David have lived out of their Cadillac for 4 years as they travel with Mary from tournament to tournament. Pressure seems to surround Mary. The pressure to succeed, the pressure of potential, and the pressure to live up to her father's expectations.
She doesn't have to perform for me. All I'm trying to do is give Mary a vehicle in life that she can go out and go through life and have a good time and be in the sunshine instead of being confined in 4 walls every day. And she can still make money at it. I mean, where else can a lady get paid that kind of money for hitting a tennis ball and be out in the sunshine?
That pressure, that burden, like I must succeed because I have to reward all the time and money and investment that my family's putting in to my tennis game, that pressure may actually defeat what they're trying to accomplish. That is, give her the best shot at being the best player she can be. And it's a terrible burden to carry, and I think Mary shows signs of that.
The strains within the Pierce family became public in May with a Sports Illustrated article that reported Jim Pierce shouting obscenities at opponents during matches and coming to blows with another father. He has also been known to shout at his own daughter even after she won.
Basically, the article tells the truth, except that I'm not a wild animal pushing my daughter, you know. I'm just trying to give her a chance. Children are children. They have to be led. Am I going to turn her loose and say, go for yourself, and then let me see what you want to do in life, and then end up standing on the corner with a bunch of crackheads?
If I miss a shot, he'll sometimes, you know, yell, but he, you know, that's how he, you know, how he explains it, you know, he's like that. But so I understand him, but other people don't, you know, that's why.
When I'm on the court, I'm not her father anymore, and I told her that. When I'm on the court, I'm the most critical SOB in the world. And when she passes me and passes what she has to go through with me, then she can pass anybody.
Before Mary can fulfill her father's hopes, Jim Pierce may have to reconcile his expectations as a coach with his role as Mary's father. Stefano Capriati, too, watches closely over his daughter's career, but with the help of experienced coaches and managers and a sense of keeping Jennifer's rise to the top in perspective.
When you grow too much as your height, you know, you grow, you can lose the balance, you know, and certain people, they lose balance, they grow, certain people, they lose balance and not. Jennifer is growing is not to lose balance.
The only thing that's different is that I'm playing different tournaments. I've played in the Grand Slams. But my life, I mean, I'm still normal. I mean, it's still the same. I'm normal.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, her biggest moment at the
Steffi
U.S.
Graf
Open has
won the
arrived.
toss and
Jennifer
chose to
Capriati
serve.
against Steffi Graf. We'll have it for you live from the stadium court when we return to the U.S. Open in just a moment.
The stadium court at the USTA's National Tennis Center, Steffi Graf and Jennifer Capriati. Graf won the first point, first game, and this is the second point underway.
Low.
Steffi Graf, ranked number 1, 21 years of age, 5'9".
Low.
Jennifer Capriati, ranked 14th, age 14, in the 9th grade, believe it or not.
School's supposed to start this week for her. She's hoping she's a few more days late.
Speaking of Steffi Graf, she's been number 1 since August 16th, 1987. That sets a record for 160 weeks.
Consecutive weeks. That's amazing. She broke the record which had been held by Jimmy Connors.
159 weeks, Martina 156 weeks, and Yvonne Lendl 156. So she will get a little award later today before her doubles match.
The reward she'd like right now is to get past Capriati. A convincing first game for Steffi Graf.
First game.
Center, Flushing Meadow, New York. This is the second point of the second game. Capriati served. The love 15, now it's love 30. Pat Summerall with Mary Carrillo and Tony Trabert. The fourth round. Graf won the first game. In the chair from San Jose, California, chair umpire Joan von Baum.
Joan's a good one. She's been doing a long time.
$15.40 break point for Graf.
One of the things I think Capriati will learn, you see their record against one another. One real match, 6-2, 6-4 at Wimbledon, won by Graf.
And then that exhibition match.
That exhibition doesn't count on the computer rankings. It really, and again, Steffi Graf, as we see here, approaching. She looks very aggressive right away in this match. She's still got a break point. Graf even said that she was experimenting in that match. She wasn't taking it seriously. Capriati, of course, was heartened to take a set from her. But it didn't count. Wimbledon counted. And this will count for a lot. Jennifer a lot because Steffi Graf has not appreciated all the talk that Jennifer Capriati is already so close to her in talent. She's got a real big point to prove here.
Whether it's an exhibition or not, it counts in Jennifer's head.
Exactly.
Because she says, hey, I played the #1 player in the world close, a 3-set match. You can call it what you want.
Nice comeback from Jennifer Capriati. 2 break points now.
Advantage Capriati.
Her own point to get even in this first set.
I started to say earlier, I think one of the things she'll learn as she plays a little bit more is from time to time to slow things down a little bit. Not necessarily the ball in play, but her movement around the court.
Game to Capriati. And let's look at the draw. See what's ahead.
1-all.
Novotná is in the quarterfinals. She'll play the winner of this match. She beat Novotná, beat Katerina Maleva earlier today. 1-all here in the stadium. Graf serving.
You know, we mentioned it's a little breezy down there, and Steffi's toss is awfully high on the serve. It always has been.
You're talking about Capriati having to learn how to pace herself. Graf is one of the quickest players around, too. And these two both, they both rush around.
Yeah, I don't mean let pace it from a physical aspect. It's just sometimes you got to slow things down, think about it a little bit more, let your opponent think about it a little bit more. You can't just rush up, grab the ball, and serve again all the time and be as effective as you might.
They both tend to do that.
15-all.
They both, though they're both baseliners, they're not, they sure aren't garden variety baseliners. They're more the new wave baseliners like Andre Agassi. They like the baseline, but they don't like long baseline rallies. They're both so aggressive.
Just missed it.
30-15.
And they both enjoy playing against pace. So they'll be feeding each other just the kind of tennis balls they like. But footwork will be a big part of this deal then. Trying to stay even with all the firepower.
Rare forehand miss.
30-all.
Drop. 30-all. $40-15. 40-30, I'm sorry. Game to Graf. And she leads 2-1. First set.
Graf leads 2-1.
They want to get on with it.
Capriati serving it 1-2.
The full time on the changeovers. Matter of fact, people are still milling all over the place trying to get to their seats, and they just start out and go play.
$15-all.
Tom Gullickson Capriati's coach in the pink hat there. Sitting next to her agent, John Everett. Younger brother of Chris.
Steffi's father, Peter Graf.
Mother Heidi is sitting beside him. Coach Pavel Slozil was right there with him. It was Peter Graf's alleged indiscretions at the beginning of this year that have caused so much pain and trouble for Steffi Graf. She's never had a year like this. She's never had to worry about so many off-court problems, and it's affected her tennis.
2 break points now for Steffi.
Game to Graf. He leads 3-1.
Graf leads 3-1.
Jennifer Capriati, by comparison, seems to have no cares in the world. 9th grader.
Multi-millionaire.
Happy kid.
How many cares did you have when you were in the 9th grade? 14 years old.
This man, in the middle of the screen, Stefano Capriati, one of the few people on the planet who picked Manuela Maleva to defeat Martina Navratilova last night, which she did in 3 sets.
First time I met Mr. Capriati about a year ago, when Jennifer was not there, I said, "You must be proud of your daughter's accomplishments." And he said, "I am, but I'm proud of that she's a good person." And that tells me an awful lot about the family background.
Jennifer said, Steffi has one weapon I don't have. Of course, they're polished a little bit more, perhaps, but she said, I don't have that slice backhand. I've got to learn to slice it. Game to Graf. He leads 4-1, first set. It's the first point. Capriati's serve. And right now, let's go down to Tim Ryan.
15 love.
Thank you, Pat. I'm joined in the studio by Tracy Austin, and welcome, 2-time U.S. Open champion. And we were chatting about the fact that when you were 14, you made the quarterfinal here in your first U.S. Open. If Capriati were to beat Graf, of course, that would be the same accomplishment. You can certainly relate to young Jennifer Capriati. What did you hear in the women's locker room when you were in there earlier?
Well, it was just so different the way the two were getting ready for the match. Jennifer was in the players' lounge where there were probably about 400 people milling about, and she was talking to everybody. She had her headphones on. She was, you know, giggling and laughing and looked so relaxed, whereas Steffi Graf was in the locker room. She was all by herself, very quiet, kind of not talking to anybody. And then right before the match, she got into her clothes and went out onto the practice court and started warming up again. So I think that she was really pumped up for this match. On the practice court, you could just see her out there. She was just moving and just hitting the ball so well. I think this is a very important match for her.
But you also seem to feel that Jennifer was so loose that this might work in her favor, that a possible upset was certainly possible, and that a lot of other people in that locker room thought so too.
Well, I think, you know, I think Steffi might be a little bit irritated right now because they're kind of comparing Jennifer and Steffi already. And really, Steffi has won a Grand Slam, and she's been #1 in the world for so long now that I would think that she's getting a little irritated with the press and saying that she's had a difficult year. Although she has, you know, I'm sure that this match is very important for her to make sure that everybody knows that she is #1. And, of course, Jennifer is so loose. She's only 14. She has nothing to lose out there. But, you know, she can either be loose and play awesome, or she's been out at the Open watching all of the matches, and so she might have lost her edge, because that can tire you also. You know, just watching the match yesterday with Tom Cruise, I mean, that would excite me enough to make me tired.
Well, how about what she's done so far here?
Well, she's played incredibly well. You know, I think that everybody has high expectations for her. Everybody loves to see a young American playing so well. They like her because she seems to have so much fun and seems to be taking this all in stride. I mean, she's had so much press and just seems to thrive on it.
Meanwhile, the champion has rolled over her to this point in this first set. 5-1 for Graf, and is there a chance, do you think, for her to come back, or do you think the champion is now in command?
Well, I think there's always a chance. You never can count Jennifer out. I think, like I said before, Steffi is really going to be up for this match. And, you know, at this point, I think that the edge is off of Jennifer's game. She's not playing as well as she did 2 weeks ago or a week ago when she played her. Even though it was an exhibition, Jennifer played incredibly well in that match. And she's getting pumped up there. That's what she needs to do. She needs to get pumped up and realize it's such an important match and just go for it.
Okay, thank you very much, Tracy, and enjoy the rest of this. I know you're as excited as everybody else is.
Thank you.
Back to you, Pat, Tony, Mary.
Well, I agree with every single syllable Tracy Austin just uttered. She should know, two-time winner here at 16 and 18.
15 all.
Graf leading 5-1 first set. 15 all.
Watch the short preparation on the final passing shot by Capriati. This one right here. Doesn't take it back very far. Waits for Graf to move, and she goes into the opening. Nicely done.
Just how Steffi Graf played. You see a final there. Cherkasov continues on over Van Rensburg in straights. This is just how Graf played at Wimbledon against Capriati.
Constant pressure. 30 all.
It was a second-week Monday match, and Graf, who is having all kinds of problems, as you can see, how quickly this is zipping by. A set point here. She'd gone back to Germany to have her nose fixed, her nasal condition checked out. Came back and killed her, and she's doing the same here.
We'll be back at the U.S. Open after this word from your local station.
You don't seem to be bothered by the crowd
Milling around, people are in the aisle. They're ready to play, they play.
15 all.
Steffi Graf won the first set 6-1.
Capriati made 18 unforced errors and just 3 for Graf, and that pretty much tells the story.
My feeling with Capriati in set 2, if she wants to dig her way into this match, she should try to make it a backhand duel. She's got a very strong two-handed backhand. You can see all the errors there, 5 times as many for Capriati. She should take the air out of the ball a little bit and send it over to Steffi's backhand, like that. Elna Reinach took a set from Steffi Graf by not feeding her all of this pace, which she enjoys.
Capriati knows how to play one pace at this stage of her career, and that's hit it hard. She'll learn all those things as time goes on.
Game to Graf. She wins the first game of the second set.
First game, second set.
again.
Graf has won the first point. Second of the set.
Replay the point, please.
Steffi wants a word.
Graf just said to Joan Bornbaum that she thought she made the overall a little bit late.
Here's another look at it.
I don't think she's denying. I don't think she's fighting for the call, but just for the nature of the call that it was a little delayed.
So replay the point.
Capriati came to net, but not on her own terms. It's Graf that drew her in with that short one. And Jennifer, of course, would still have problems with this heavily sliced backhand. Capriati has to kind of scoop under it, sitting duck.
That's why, Mary, I think she might not want to play that side as much because it stays lower.
Of course, that's not such a fun side to go to.
No, either. That's right.
40 love.
This is so much better than Steffi Graf has looked in her past couple of matches at the U.S. Open.
Graf holds. Let's go down to Leslie Visser.
Pat, last night Jennifer Capriati watched the Martina match with one of America's heartthrobs, Tom Cruise. I'm here with Denise Capriati. Mrs. Capriati, what was her reaction to meeting Tom Cruise?
She was very excited. She couldn't believe it. You know, she was so excited.
What's your feeling on the match right now?
I don't know. I think she's got to think more and be a little bit more patient and try not to outplay Steffi.
Is it nerve-wracking for you to watch?
A little bit.
A little bit. Thank you. Back to you, Pat.
Love 15.
All right, Leslie. 2-love Graf.
I think Denise has the right idea. Jennifer's got to slow things down, try to keep the ball in play a little bit more. Graf is a pretty tough person just to out-hit. You got to move her some and try to set points up a little bit more.
Half hour they've been playing.
There was a slower ball, a little higher ball, no pace on it. And you extract an error from Graf. Arthur Ashe, one of our great past champions, our Davis Cup captain.
30 all.
I just think Capriati's got to start doing that, just spinning him, getting him higher over the net.
One of the ways we'll take another look at that last point.
40,
Jennifer
30.
at the net anticipates cross court. The ball was up a little bit, so it made the volley pretty easy. Some of the top women have been able to beat Capriati on her lack of agility at this stage. She's still growing. She's obviously a youngster at 14. The Monica Seles in the play, she just beats her with getting her going back and forth.
Yes.
Speaking of good movement, Steffi Graf really moves well. She's strong and agile.
She's just dancing out there. Look how light on her toes she is. And she's so focused and alert. the women's side of tennis is so much like the men's this year. The 3 Grand Slams so far. There's Virginia Wade. Pretty good player herself, 77 Wimbledon winner.
Game to Graf. 3-love in the second. Steffi Graf and Jennifer Capriati are playing at about as fast a pace as you can imagine. Maybe they want to get back to Tom Cruise.
So quickly, it's hard to finish a thought. What I was saying before is that Steffi won the Australian Open, the first leg of the Grand Slam. Then Monica Seles won the French. Martina won Wimbledon. It seems as though the women in the women's game, as in the men's, U.S. Open was going to decide things. Well, both Martina and Seles are out.
30-15.
Puts Steffi Graf in a pretty big spot to end up #1 at the end of 1990 again.
That's well done there.
Capriati's forehand has been the culprit, let her down. She's missed 19 out of about 26 forehands. Here's another look at that last point. Nice control on the volley.
Richard Ashby, Tom Gullickson, John Everett. Ashby from Barbados. It's her sparring partner.
Game to Capriati.
Takes a lot to get one, too. 2 cold winners in those last 2 rallies.
Graf leads 3-1.
Steffi won the first set 6-1. Capriati will serve at 1-3.
This is already the 3rd time Jennifer has played in this stadium, so I don't think she's daunted by this facility, just by her opponent.
There are no empty seats.
Love.
That was just wide.
30 love.
This is sort of what we were talking about. Keep the ball in play a little bit and give Graf the chance to make a few errors, and don't just feed her pace.
Another one.
So Graf leads 3-2 in the second set after having won the first.
He has won the first point of
This game, Graf serving 3-2 in the second set.
That was an angry-looking smash from Graf. She had, in that last game on Capriati's serve, she'd lost 4 straight points on 4 unforced errors. She's trying to snap it back her way. Steffi Graf, don't you get the feeling she wants this to look as dismissive as possible? Those fans had yelled mid-rally, thinking that Capriati deserved a call long, which she didn't get, but she hung tough here.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a courtesy to both players, please
And off this
remain as
backhand,
quiet
she
as
puts
you
up a
can during the
beautiful
playing of the
lob.
points. Thank you.
Kind Graf could do nothing against. And as you can see, Joan Bornbaum in the chair right now. If you heard the fans reacting, she asked them not to make noise during a rally.
Pretty tough to do and a good point.
40-30.
Well, he thought that ball on the baseline was out. That was the reason for all the noise.
Deuce.
Capriati had given up the short ball in that rally, but Graf sent it way too long. Got her out of position and went behind her.
That's the smart thing. A 14-year-old smart enough to go in behind a player like that instead of go what looks like the big opening. You go with what becomes the big opening. Great point.
Deuce.
Steffi was quoted before the match as saying, "I know that they're going to be against me. I'm going to be the villain." And it's normal, and if she can handle that.
She's nobody's villain. Ninth
Advantage,
grader.
Capriati.
Her hero's Bart Simpson. She giggled uncontrollably when she met Tom Cruise. She went to part of a Mets game yesterday. Stayed out here, watched tennis. Got her dog with her. But she missed him too much on the road to miss.
Deuce.
Steffi went for a towel over in her chair. That's the longest break we've had between points.
That's right. I said this last year, but these two play like they're double parked, you know.
Nastasi was watching this match after the first game. He said of Capriati, she plays like she's late for a plane.
More still to come today here in the stadium. Agassi. Zena Garrison playing over at the grandstand right now is up 1 love. Double. Second one.
Pavel Slozl knows how important this part of the match is. Steffi Graf's coach of the last few years. Slozl has just been re-signed for a year, which I think is very good news for Steffi Graf. He's a very fine man and a terrific coach.
Yeah, he's a steadying influence through all
yeah.
these rocky times for her. He's really good and solid for her. He's soft-spoken, but he works her hard.
Makes it 4-2, Graf.
That was a big game for Capriati, because if she'd been able to get even, she'd have gotten the crowd all riled up, and she'd back on serve. She's not out of this thing, but that was an awfully big situation for her.
Love 15.
Hard not to be rushed by Steffi Graf. But Jennifer's problem is, you said, Tony, sometimes she rushes herself, too.
Yeah. A lot of unforced errors. It's youth and exuberance. She has the courage to go for it. In a previous match, was getting close. She said to herself, don't get chicken.
The thing is, they both have such high-risk games. I mean, the way Graf plays, the way Capriati plays, the way big boom tennis is played in the 90s, you make a lot of winners, and you also make errors and hope that the winners are more than make up for the errors. If anything, Graf has a higher risk game, but not today.
2 break points now for Steffi. That's just too good.
Too strong. Graf leads 5-2 in the second set.
To serve 1 point.
Lost it. It's love 15. She leads 5-2 in the second set.
15 all.
Out of 30 unforced errors for Capriati in this match, 21 have been on the forehand. So some impatience on her part, trying to do too much perhaps.
Thing is, Jennifer knew going in that she'd have to be more patient than she's been against Graf at Wimbledon and in that exhibition. But Graf has been dictating.
And I think it's the excitement of the whole thing. It's a blur to her.
Another overrule by Joan Bornbaum. This one in Graf's favor.
Well, that shouldn't be replayed then.
Because it was a winner, you mean?
It was a winner. There's no way that Capriati could get to it, so it should be Graf's point.
It is.
Here's another look at the volley going to the left sideline.
It was given to Graf.
Yep. 30 love. 30 all, excuse me.
Double fault number 3 by Steffi Graf.
30-40.
Great point.
Think about being number 1 for 160 consecutive weeks. That's her record, the new record.
Deuce. Graf.
Match point.
Graf's already waiting to serve. Have a good look at that face. You're going to see it for a long time.
There she is. (6-1, 6-2) in 53 minutes. Very businesslike for Steffi Graf.
You've got to give her a lot of credit because this hasn't been a great year for Steffi. And as we've mentioned, she wanted to make a point right here, state that she is #1. This young lady, Capriati, is only going to get better. She'll learn a lot from this defeat.
Let's now go down to Tim Ryan.
Well, thank you.
That took less than an hour, a much anticipated match. What was your plan today?
Well, I wanted to get slowly into it. I mean, I wanted to be patient in the beginning and just see how I feel and how she would play. And basically just to try a little bit more to play on her forehand, which turned out to be a good thing to do.
You're the defending champion. Could you sense any nervousness or fatigue on her part?
Probably, yes. I mean, I think there was a lot of pressure and a lot of, like you said, everybody was anticipating for that match. And so I think it was really tough for her.
Was it important to you? This match was much more reminiscent of Wimbledon than your recent special event in Mawa. Was that important to you?
No, it's not. I mean, this is a totally different tournament, and I just wanted to play well and try to do as good as I can. I didn't think about the other two matches at all.
But what about your chances now? You're playing very well, plus Martina is out, Celis is out. Next up, Novotná.
Well, again, I mean, I have to take every match, and Novotná is not going to be an easy one either. She played well so far, so that's the next step.
Well played today. Thank you, Steffi. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you, Leslie. Well, you heard Steffi herself say Novotná will not be easy. Novotná winner today, and they will meet now in the quarterfinals. Steffi Graf over Jennifer Capriati, 6-1 and 6-2 out on the stadium court. Number 13 seed Capriati doing very well to get to the round of 16. Novotná defeated Katerina Maleva 6-4 and 6-2 earlier today. They will next meet. We'll take a look at that draw here for you to give you the larger picture, because Garrison and Tauzian are on the grandstand court right now, and it'll be for Capriati, who created so much excitement. And congratulations on a terrific tournament, Jennifer. I know you're not happy. Nobody's happy when they lose, even to the top player in the world. When you and I were looking at some highlights, and we'll look at them again here, it sounded like if you had started the match in the second set, you think things might have gone a little differently or more relaxed.
Yeah, I wish, because in the first set, you know, I felt I was really tight and really couldn't hit the ball. And second, you know, especially in that, when she was up 3-2 in that game, when I had a couple of chances to break her, you know, maybe I did think to myself, well, maybe not, I can still hang in there.
This was one of your good points in the second set. It looked like you were hitting the ball harder. You were making better contact with it in the second set.
Yeah, in the first set, you know, I thought I wasn't hitting the ball at all. I got a bit looser now.
Somehow I have the feeling we're going to see a lot more of these rallies over the next few years between you and Steffi. It was a great play, and Tony Faber complimented you on alertly going behind her on that play.
Yeah, because I knew she would be running to the other side.
And here's match point. This one you don't want to see, but there it is. Nonetheless, a round of 16 against the top player in the world. She's been #1 for so long now. Did you sense that she was really pumped and psyched? Did you see some determination there that, boy, I don't want to let this youngster beat me out here today?
Yeah, I kind of felt like when she was out there after the match, you know, I thought, boy, she didn't really want to mess around in that match. And I guess she was really eager, and I mean, I was too going in there. And I thought, you know, she's the one who has the pressure, you know, so I should just go out there and play. But I was a little bit nervous, but I guess she was just really eager, and, you know, she closed me out.
Well, now that it's over with, you look back on the U.S. Open, I'm just wondering if the highlight was sitting in the same box with Tom Cruise last night at the McEnroe match.
Yeah, that was the highlight. Yeah. Yeah, that was, I think, the biggest one. But also, you know, just coming to the Open and just seeing the crowd and the fans was really great.
Now, you have to think about school. This is Labor Day weekend. You're going to a new school, I understand. You don't want to go back. Tell us about your new school. Where is it?
It's in Boca, St. Andrews.
Uh-huh.
And I have no idea where it starts, when it starts. But I'm going to stay here till after the Open, so when I go back, then I'll go start school.
I think Mom and Dad will get you there on time, as close to it as they can.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, Jennifer. That was just a superb tournament for you, and I know fans are looking forward to seeing you back next year.
Thank you.
Jennifer Capriati. Me too. She'll be back next year at the U.S. Open, and you'll be seeing a lot more of her in all of the major tournaments around the world. We'll return to the U.S. Open. We've got lots of action ahead. Zina Garrison, Andre Agassi when we return.
From Flinders Park, this is coverage of the Australian Open Tennis Championships. Boris Becker is 23, Patrick McEnroe 1 year his senior. Becker, of course, the #2 player in the world. Patrick McEnroe, 114 now. His best ranking ever was 108. Becker has won 29 titles. McEnroe has yet to win one. Welcome back, everybody. Our coverage of the second of two men's singles semi-finals today. Boris Becker is taking on Patrick McEnroe. We're in the second set. McEnroe won the first set in a tiebreaker and leads it 4-3 in the second. Becker is struggling. We're on serve.
Patrick McEnroe's done a fabulous job here after a very nervous start where Becker raced off with the first 3 games. He came back and broke back later in the set. And it's been an interesting match tactically from Boris Becker because he's trying to play Patrick McEnroe from the baseline.